Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever is the case for your part of the world. You are live with the RetroMacCast. How's everybody doing out there? Australia's checking in. Very good. Dave's Vintage Apple Tech. Hello to you. And Jeremy from London. All
Michael,
right.
hello.
You ready to start, John?
I am ready.
Let's go in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Retro MacCast with James and John. This is episode 583 for August 22nd, 2021. Good morning, John.
Good morning, James.
What's new with you?
Oh, not much. I
You are
got
what?
my eBay buy that I
Oh, which one?
um, the from last week the box, the disc box. When we talk
For the
about eBay,
winner.
we'll bring it up.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. Well, we'll talk more about that maybe when we talk more about that in the eBay finds. Will you show it to us? Do you have it?
Yeah, I've got it
Yes.
right here.
Okay. I mean, you can show it later.
Okay,
Oh, or you can show it now? Or you can show it later? Or both?
later. We'll see.
Okay. I've got something sitting there with me. You see
Yes,
that?
you do. Your end table.
The Apple Network server 500/132 made it up from the garage. I needed to get out of the garage and up among the family here. So I got to get it cleaned up and cross my fingers and apply power to it to see what might be going on with its
So, do you
electrical
remember
innards.
what specifications you had on that? Is how many drives are actually in it and stuff like that?
You know, I don't know how many drives. I mean, I could go over there and pop the latches and slide the trays out. It
No,
does
no,
have
no.
the
If it was
CD-ROM.
full, you would not have been able to get that up the stairs yourself because that would have
Oh,
been pretty
well, it's
darn
pretty
heavy.
heavy as is,
Yeah.
but yeah, a few more hard drives would have made it even harder. Um, anyway, there it sits for another day. Let's see. Today, what are we talking about? We did a little retro gaming.
Oids. Yeah.
Oids, yeah. So we'll be showing that, talking about that later. And the usual things, right? eBay finds, news stories. So I guess we'll be right back with some eBay finds. What's your shirt? Some kind of symbol
Oh,
or rune.
so we've got a friend of ours whose birthday is on or near International Talk Like a Pirate Day, and he
Oh,
does a pirate themed pub crawl in Decatur, Georgia, every year.
okay. Wow, there's
And
a lot
the
happening there.
shirts has various bands, most of them from the Ren Fair that we go to
Uh
in
huh.
Atlanta, and it's a fun time.
What does the symbol mean though on the front?
It's Pirate Palooza, so it's
Oh,
basically it's the double
P,
P. They
double
turned it into
P.
kind of a skeleton
Uh,
key sort of.
oh, I get it. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Mine's a little more literal. It's just okay. Let's see. Well, I'm gonna get some eBay finds up here. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Gonna get this and do that and this and voila. All right. Let's go in 3, 2, 1. Let's take a look at the eBay finds from last week. There was a Macintosh hard disk 20, the HD 20, right? The floppy disk interface
Hmm.
for early Macs. Very slow, but very awesome. This one sold for, after 7 bids, dun dun dun, how much? Now remember, it wasn't tested. It powered on, so it took a little bit of a hit. $56.
Nice, very nice.
$56, yeah. Then the Color Classic 2, right? Japanese version Color Classic 2 with the box. And I think that had a lot of other stuff, right? It had all the
Yeah, yeah.
peripherals,
Right.
documentation, pretty good shape, showed booting, all of that. After 18 bids, went for $1,155.
Wow.
And which I think is a bargain considering that just straight color classics
Sure. Right, right,
in that
yeah. Yeah,
this
absolutely. And
condition
here
with
it
this
is in
sort
the
of stuff would,
box.
yeah, would go for that.
Right.
Much rarer here. Okay, and John gets the big prize by taking home this thing, the wooden Apple floppy disk organizer with Macintosh
Yep.
Plus stamped on it. Sold for $38 after 6 bids to
Yeah.
the big spender.
Ooh. Yeah. I don't buy a ton of stuff on eBay because I don't need more stuff, but
Yeah, none of us do.
I've always kind of
But it
liked
makes you feel
these.
good, huh?
It
Yes.
does, yeah, and it's in very nice shape, so it'll look very nice next to my Mac Plus.
So will you put discs in there? Is that the plan?
Yeah,
Will you,
yeah,
yeah.
sure. I mean,
Okay.
it's a lot nicer than a lot of just kind of generic plastic, uh, you know, 3.5
Yeah.
inch floppy.
What'd be really cool is you've made a custom divider where you put the various floppy disk alternatives in there. Your floppy emus and blue
Oh,
scuzzies and whatever.
well, for that matter, what you could do is you could put a Raspberry Pi in here and put a screen right here and actually
Oh,
turn it into a,
right.
and still have room for floppy disks.
Yeah, right. All right. Well, congratulations on that big win. Let's move along to some new auctions. And maybe John won't steal these from you. I'm always a sucker for advertising and
Hmm.
posters, and they've almost become historical artifacts at this point. But it's not very often that you see documentation, advertising, otherwise for the Apple III. It was short-lived, kind of an odd bird, right? This title says 1982 Apple III personal computer, 100 things it can do, 8-page poster print ad. And it says it's an original magazine advertisement. Page size about 8 by 10 and 3/4. Pages are back to back. Folds open to poster size. And they're going to package it in a plastic sleeve with cardboard backing and ship it flat. So
This is
it's a big fan fold,
pretty cool
right?
looking.
So
I have to say,
you starts off and it says, "Will someone please?" Well, I guess it's you fold it out on one side, and on white text on a red background it says, "Will someone please tell me exactly what a personal computer can do?" Because people were still asking that question, right, in the early '80s. And then you flip it over. Now the seller was smart; didn't give us a nice high-res scan that we could all
yeah, I
copy
checked.
and read. You checked.
Yes.
This is a low-res scan, but it gives you a good sense of the detail and the information that is contained on this fan fold. So it folds open to like 4 magazine pages, right, side by side, with enumerating the 1 to 100 reasons what a personal computer can do, or why you should get a personal computer. I can zoom in a little bit here so we can kind of glean. I don't know. I can't even read any of these. I want to read them. There's some great illustrations we can see. A picture of the Apple III, space shuttle, some significant history events, and it looks like a beagle with, I don't know if it's something, what's that wrapped around? There's a great picture of a dragon and a naked man for some reason, and 4 different stages of decay or something. I don't know. I need to read that too. I don't know if I need to see it anymore, but um, yeah, look at that. So you get the 100 reasons, and then it says the most personal computer, Apple. I'm like,
So
this
one
is
thing
cool.
I want to
Yeah,
bring up is so the style of this ad. Go back to the
hmm
first page.
the first page.
Yeah, the
We
flip
start
side of
off.
this.
Oh yeah,
So this is if this was from 1982, this has got to be like one of the start of kind of this clean style of ad for Apple, because I mean they used this look
yes.
for a long time
The
with that
bold
font,
text.
with the
Yeah.
color, and the fact that this is from 1982 really strikes me as something. You know,
Uh
is
huh.
this like the first kind of use of this style? Yeah, it's a kind of timeless look, isn't it? It still looks.
Yeah.
You look at other ads from 1982, and you're gonna go, wow, that's an ad from the 80s. This has still has a very good look to it
All
for
right.
the
I
being
like that you
early
like it.
80s.
Is somebody in the chat gonna buy this and then share us as high risk candidates? If they won't, if they don't, I will just go ahead and do it.
Right,
This will be
right,
a
right.
first. I don't know that I've ever bought an auction as we're doing the podcast, but I'll. Anybody? I'm going to give it a couple seconds if somebody else wants to do this for the good of the group. Um, if not, I'm going to just go ahead and
So I
what?
think I actually just found another website that has high res versions.
Oh, okay. You're going to save me $30 here.
Hang on, I'm seeing.
All right. All right. While you
Nope,
keep looking
nope,
that,
nope, still not.
nope.
Okay.
All right. I will at least bid on it. It's got 9 days to go. It's I didn't even talk about the price. They want $19.99, which
Very reasonable. Very, very
yeah, it's
reasonable.
not outrageous. For the trouble of somebody keeping track of this thing and packaging it up nicely and sending it to you. It ships from Ohio. Again, this ends on August 31st. We'll see by the end of the show if it's still around. I'll maybe swoop it up. Okay, next.
Oh, sorry, I was looking for stuff. All right, next up we have a Macintosh 2CI 32 mega RAM, cleaned, recapped, and working. It's a very nice. I mean, this thing looks pristine. At least in the pictures. What we've got is big hit though on the back. This guy on the three expansion bays.
Yeah,
There are no
no
covers, so the
covers.
covers are missing. That's a little sad.
It's missing the thumb screw too for the case,
Oh, good, good.
but the tabs are intact and it's very clean on the
Right.
back.
It is. It
Uh,
is very clean, but yeah, it just.
mm-hmm,
I wonder if it had cards and they pulled them, or they just kind of got lost over the years.
mm-hmm,
They do show it booting, so everything's good on that.
mm-hmm.
Very reasonable. It must have had a very reasonable starting bid because right now it's currently at $100 with 5 bids. So and this is. I know I am not selling this. This is actually located in the city I live in, located in Crestview, Florida.
Are you kidding me? I didn't even
No,
notice that when I
you really? Oh my
scrolled.
gosh! I thought you did that on purpose. That is so funny. I almost want to
Well,
reach
you
out
could
to this
arrange for
person to
local pickup.
see. Well,
Yeah,
I
what
want
their
to reach
deal
out to him
is.
just to go, hey, dude, what else do you have? What do you know?
Right. Crestview is all of a sudden the epicenter of classic Macs.
That is kind of funny. Wow. So
Most per capita.
you didn't even realize that,
No,
huh?
it's just totally random.
Wow. That's because I mean Crestview is not a big city, guys.
Right.
So yeah, pretty
Wow.
awesome. All right.
Could
Anyway,
be somebody
so
you know.
it very well could.
Hmm. Sparky SQL. All right. Well, find out. But this is a thing that we're seeing quite often, right? The idea of people taking the time to not only carefully clean and
Right.
present these computers, but recap them.
Yeah.
Because obviously we've found that that's more and more necessary to get an operating one and make sure it stays reliably operating into the future. So to take that extra effort and get you one is a huge bonus.
Mm-hmm.
So $100 for a 2CI that has some reasonable reliability is, I think, quite a steal. So we'll see. I think even $100 for a 2CI in its original state would have been a good buy. All right, let's move on to another one that's been carefully restored, recapped, I think the whole thing. I'm not sure. Let's look at the details. The title says recapped PSU. Okay, but Macintosh 2SI with Blue SCSI and the original box for the 2SI. Um, Drake 9800 is the seller. And it says the power supply is recapped. The Blue SCSI SD is System 7 fully loaded with apps and games, 5 megs of RAM. Everything boxed inside and double boxed is what they're going to do for you. It says, I've been restoring vintage Apple computers for years and enjoy using them daily. 2SI is perfect vintage Apple for apps and games from the 80s and 90s. With the Blue SCSI installed, it's as simple as dragging and dropping new images onto the included 256 meg SD card. Let's look at the pictures here. It does come with the original floppies, the system disks, so you do have that, even though you don't need them. The box, the 2SI box, pretty good shape. I don't believe it comes with this monitor. Is that correct? I don't think so. Showing working with the monitor. Nice clean inside. Back there too. Really good shape. Really good shape. And booting into 7.01. Lots of full pictures, even a diagnostic test for you, and pictures of how it's going to be double boxed.
Oh, nice.
See, that's the way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
There is no doubt, what's going to go on. You're going to get this thing in good shape. So what do they want for all this? Well, it's going to cost you a little bit, but right. It's going to cost you Canadian $450, which translates to about $350. It ships from Victoria, Canada, or you can make an offer. But I like this, right? I like this. This is they've got you a hard drive solution. They've cleaned and boxed and
this should be a reliable system for many years.
Well, what about the logic board, though? It's not recapped, right? It's just the power supply.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know. Let's see. Anything else we need to say about that? No, I still 350. 2SI, boy, don't see those every day either. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. Yep, John, local pickup. Did you send the seller a?
I'm going to try. Of course, eBay doesn't like it when you're sending.
Well, you can ask a question, and
see if we can try to meet up or something.
Okay, you ready to talk OIDs?
Let's talk about OIDs.
All right, let's go. And I'll start off. I'll read the bit of the description here when we start.
Okay.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Free the OIDs. The evil biocretes, rulers of the wealthiest parallel universe in the cosmos, have created a race of android slaves they call OIDs. The biocretes treat the gentle, peace-loving OIDs worse than space debris. They abuse them in every way imaginable. While the downtrodden OIDs toil in filthy, dangerous energy factories, the biocretes live lives of gluttony and greed, savoring the fruits of the OIDs' labor. And that is the introduction to OIDs. You also have to have a very elaborate backstory for these. Compared to now, very, very simplistic, right?
Right.
Game mechanics and graphics, which is fine, right? As long as they're engaging and the gameplay is good, those games can stand up. And so there's OIDs. OIDs came out. Well, it came out originally for the Atari ST.
Oh, good. That answers a question I had about the manual.
Oh, well, you can see right there. There's the box shot, and it does actually say Atari ST, this particular screenshot. It was written by Dan Hewitt, along with Kirk Baker and Joe Holt, developed and published by FTL Games, 1987, the Atari ST version. and then it was later ported to the Mac in 1990. And it sort of combines familiar elements from a number of different games we've played in the
Absolutely.
past.
Yeah.
There are kind of elements of Asteroids and
Lunar
Defender and
Lunar
Lunar
Lander.
Lander. Yeah, an old
Definitely
classic
Lunar
game, Lunar
Lander.
Lander.
Definitely Choplifter.
Yep,
Maybe some Scramble.
yep. Um, and so it's pretty much, the controls are simple enough, much like Asteroids, right? You rotate your ship,
Yeah, yeah. It's
you
basically
spin
what
360,
six keys.
you fire your thrusters because there's gravity to contend with and other gravity elements in the game. There's a shield you can deploy, and the objective is to you fly around these planetary surfaces, looking to save those poor oids. You open up their little bases, and then they
You
come.
basically save them by shooting their homes first, and
Yeah.
then once you do, they scramble and
Well,
make
then
you
they have no choice but to come to you because they've got no place to live. So
get to
they
the
run around
chopper.
screaming. So you pick them up, and then eventually you dock with your mothership or something like that, and fly off to the next place.
Right, right. So yeah, there's every time you catch or you rescue 8 of the oids, the mothership comes back down and you redock with the mothership. And that also helps keep your fuel up. And the fuel is used for your thruster, but it's also used for your shields. So
Mm-hmm.
besides your regular laser gun, you've got the Nova Bomb, which is kind of just a little bit more potent. You only get like 4 of those, and it's got more of an area effect.
Mm-hmm.
You can accidentally kill the oids, so you gotta be careful what you're doing with your weapons. Otherwise, yeah, there's not as many of them to rescue. As far
Yeah.
as like the bad guys go, the obstacles. Not only do you have, of course, you've got kind of cavernous terrain to deal with, but you also have the bad guys, which they've got a couple of different structures that will shoot at you. The most annoying thing I found was there are gravity repellers and attractors. So as you're flying along, all of a sudden you'll be pushed away from your objective. Or worse than that is the ones that will also draw you down into a cavern wall or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Another thing I noticed is when you're playing is even if something is slightly off screen where you can't necessarily see it, you can still shoot it. So that I ended up with the repellers several times. That's how I ended up having to kind of get them because I had a hard time getting close enough to them to
Why don't you fire it up?
do that. Yeah, sure thing. Okay,
Yeah. No. So
you're
it's a
gonna go
68K
ahead
game,
and right.
and I think originally you were going to try to run it on that
I was
Mac
going to
that you
try
had
to
configured to
right. You
stream
want to go ahead and share
into.
the screen?
Oh, yeah.
Back to stream. There we go. Man, oids. Very nice graphics. So yeah. So as far as if you're gonna run this in an emulator, Basilisk 2 ran it just fine, but I realized there was no sound.
Hmm.
Mini VMAX will play it with sound, black and white, and the black and white graphics look just as good. They did a really good job of the black and white graphics versus the color graphics. Color graphics, you can only have 16 colors or less. So that's why I ended up kind of going with Basilisk 2. It's easier to get that 16 color range. What else can I say?
I
Yeah,
tried it
no
in
sound.
Sheepshaver. It was a little wonky in Sheepshaver. Playable, but not an
No, no. But
entirely smooth experience.
did you say you were running Sheepshaver in a virtual machine?
I was originally, but then I ran it straight in OS 10, and
Okay,
it still was
still.
not very playable,
All right.
and no sound either. So
Oh, okay, okay.
something breaks in the
So
sound.
got it. Yeah,
And
next
so
time we do this, I hope to be able to play it on actual hardware and use the that video capture thing. So, all right, let's go
mm,
ahead and play it. This first one, Cosmoids. So another fun thing about this game is it has basically a level editor. You
mhm.
can make your own levels and stuff like that. If you download this off of Macintosh Garden, not only does it have the OIDS game disc, but it also has a disc with a bunch of fan made levels. I never got past trying to just do the levels here. I played for a few hours the other day. I have to go with Intermedia is the world because I suck at games, but this is pretty darn enjoyable, guys. So I'm warping
Yeah,
to
we're
the
warping into.
Funzoid.
There is the planet, and here we go. So it's 2D side scrolling,
Yeah, but
but
I
the
do like the
mechanics are well done. Yeah.
I like the subtle shading in the kind of the walls. So let's see here.
So John is piloting his V-wing, as I call it, and he's just
See that? So
shooting
repelled.
indiscriminately at the planet's
Yes. Pew pew
surface,
pew pew. Ah.
just to announce his arrival. Um,
Strike
to
fear
know
into
who's in
the.
charge. Oh, coming a little hot, a little hot. All
Ooh,
right,
yeah. Well,
all
you
right.
see, all right. You see, I'm well. Again, this
Yeah,
is bad for audio podcast, but I am trying to get down there, but I'm being pushed away by
that's why
one
I'm
of the
doing play by
repellers.
play. Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
so
you got
that
to
takes
take
care of
that. Yeah,
that
the
one.
repeller out is making it difficult to land, and so he's already taken out one of the shelters, and so we've got a
Ah,
number of the oids are running around.
there we go.
There,
All right.
another
So now
repeller.
that I've
So is
gotten
it
the
safe to
repellers out of the
land?
way, it is safe to land. Come on.
And you got to pick them up just like Choplifter or yeah, and they're kind of running around. And I like how
Ah,
they
and I died.
crash and burn. There we go. So much for their savior. I think
These poor, poor oids
do
are
you take out one of
never
the
going to
oids? I
be.
think in your fireball. I don't know. Uh, but yeah, so you kind of have to manage the situation because there's something shooting at you. There's things
Shooting
that
at
are
me, yeah,
yeah.
I really
There's
need to take it out.
it's very common. You got
Um,
the terrain. You're managing gravity. There's a lot to
right.
think about.
It is, yeah,
Um,
and there is a good starting level called No Voids, and that one
mhm.
there's nothing shooting at you and just gives you a chance to kind of practice.
Now they made a second version. It was remade, I think for more modern hardware, and eventually it did even come to OS 10.
Oh
There's an
yeah,
Oids.x. Mm-hmm.
yeah, but the one I found will not run. It needs an earlier operating system. The OS 10,
Yeah.
I think it's a PowerPC version.
Well, that one I tried to run it under Snow Leopard, and it got up. It did the opening animation and then
Okay,
just froze up. So I didn't get
all
very
right.
far. It there were hopes that it would work. So I didn't quite get it, but it looks like it's a pretty much almost a shot for shot remake of the
Cool.
original. But that might be worth giving it a try too, so you can get it running. Um, yeah. So there it is. That's always. That's always. It's if you like playing classic games, I mean it's just very well
It's a
done,
great
and it
game.
run a
Yeah.
number of awards. I think for the Atari ST, at one point it was named I think one of the top 25 games of that platform's history. So
Oh, great.
a lot of accolades along the way, lots of awards. You can download it. The Macintosh Garden is
Yeah.
usually the place to go.
Right.
You can get it there. You can also get the OS 10 version there as well.
Derek in the comments mentioned this is a good idea is to try it in the Mac 2 variant of Mini VMac. Oh yeah, so the reason we're not showing the Mini VMac here that I think I mentioned it that we could not get it to stream properly on StreamYard, so we couldn't share the screen of Mini VMac. So we may have the same problem with Mini VMac, the Mac 2 variant. But
Yeah,
yeah,
we'll have to figure out why that's not working. It seems like we've
right.
streamed Mini
I
VMAX
thought so
before.
too. Yeah, we may have to try a couple of different versions of Mini VMac. We'll try it with the Mac 2 variant. That's a great idea.
All right. Okay. Well, that's a segment there, but I'm going to pull up my Mini VMAC right now and see why. Let's see if I can share it right now on my end. You mean that?
Yeah. So you're having no problem.
No problem.
No problem. So you have to let me know what version you're using.
Whatever the latest version is, I think.
Okay. All right.
So anyway, all right. Let's move on. We're going to move on to version what? I don't know what version. Here we go. 36.04.
All right. Well,
Okay.
we'll play around with that some more.
Yeah. All right. Let's move along to some news. Let's see here. Da, 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 da. Oh, oh. I'm juggling windows here, trying to get everything together. Here we go. All right. Let's go in 3, 2, 1. I believe it was last week or the week before we mentioned that there were these auctions at RR Auction, all related to Steve Jobs, some Wozniak stuff, but a lot of autographed things. Well, all those auctions ended, and if you haven't heard, some people made out. Lots of money was made. Look at this. The Steve Jobs inscribed Apple II manual. Now they estimated it would start around 25,000. That one sold for $787,000. I mean, that's seven.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't
Right.
even fathom that.
Yeah.
Right? 46 bids cranked that to $787,000. An Apple II manual with Steve Jobs inscription. And Mike Markkula, he probably was worth. Well, don't sell him too short. I mean, I'm sure his name on there added some value. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But it gets
wow,
crazier,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
or as crazy. That Steve Jobs typed letter. Remember the one where he said he didn't do autographs, so he signed the letter stating as much. 55 bids took that to $479,000, $939, $480,000 for a signed Steve Jobs letter. That some people are very, very happy today, having saved this stuff for so long.
Right.
The next step software sheet or something, a manual, or it was software signed by Steve Jobs, went for $210,000. The first issue of Macworld, signed by Woz and Jobs on different occasions, but sold for just over $200,000. Just over $200,000. Wow. And that's even in this environment, this uncertain world we live in, and whatever people are laying down. That kind of, maybe because you might as well, right? Because who knows what's going to happen? You might as well just throw it all down on something like this. What are the other? You can see the other. If you're watching the video, you can see the other items, what they went for. That jacket, I just missed out. I was going to go as high as 65. Okay.
Oh, really?
But I lost it.
Oh, no.
No, I didn't get involved in it. These are too rich for my blood. But that one sold for $66,466. That leather jacket. Business card, a measly $12,905. What are the other big ones? Some circuit boards. Let's see. I said the Apple IIc prototype didn't do that well. $2,750. Another big winner,
I found
though.
Interesting is if you. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to get to it. Where is it? I thought there was. Let's go. I thought there was a Lisa in here. Wasn't there a Lisa that went for huge money? Or did I miss it?
Oh my! Don't remember offhand.
Anyway, a bunch of other random things.
Right. So the Steve Wozniak signed Apple Mouse for $250.
Reasonable price.
I thought that was a.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like somebody. Oh, there it is, right there, Lisa.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Yeah, look at
the
this
Woz Mouse.
So
200.
What?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, well, the Woz Mouse. Yes, finish your thought.
Oh, just $250. I mean, I got a. That's getting something like that signed by Woz is very, very easy to do. And he's still doing it.
Is he still? The website's still up, signed by Woz or whatever. You think it's still up? I know it was up for years. There was some woman that was organizing it. If that's still up, I don't know. Anyway, the Lisa, the original Lisa with the Twiggy drives, $94,949. $94,000. So that's a new high mark, I think, for Lisa ones. I don't know. I think it's like over double what they've got. I don't remember offhand. They don't come up that often. This is obviously a great condition. There's a YouTube video of it, and it's working and all that. So, but my gosh, so still lots of interest in the history of Apple and the artifacts of that history, especially
All
ones
right.
that have been yes.
So the signed by Woz is still up. You could get that
Okay.
exact same mouse signed by Woz for $45.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Well, you got to buy 100 of them and put them up front. You can make out. You can double your money overnight. Well, cool. Anyway, so that's all that stuff is over at our auction. And look at this. What are the odds? Okay, we were just talking about what we were calling the Gizmo watch, right? The wristwatch, the promotional Apple item that had the cool squiggly second hand, and John made a inspired clock.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, what, 2-3 episodes again? Well, over on Bloomberg, on August 19th, they published an article, The Apple Watch from 1995. It won't pair with your phone, but it's weird and fun and quite possibly the wackiest design ever released by the House of Apple. And there's a picture there of somebody wearing the watch. But it was originally published by Danny Milton on Hodenkey, I guess is the original article. And they talk about the watch and the cool design and sort of the time, the era. I think, oh, there it is right there. This is kind of, I didn't remember this. Did you know this is one of the ways you could get it? Or maybe it was the only way you could get it. But it was a promotional item for System 7.5, right? And so it was a free gift if you upgraded to 7.5 and ordered your boxed copy for how much was it? $100, something more? I don't know. It could have been more than 100. But if you ordered it, and this was between May and July of 1995, you could get one of two things. You could get that watch, or you could get a boxed copy of Conflict Catcher, which, think about that for a moment. That Apple was so proud of System 7.5 that they were going to give you a free copy of something to catch
Hopefully
the
make it work
conflicts.
better. Yes.
Or a watch. Probably the smart money back then was to get the conflict catcher.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, of course, you wish you would have gotten that watch because they're way cool. But anyway, I thought there was a pleasant coincidence that we had just been talking about that watch in detail. All right. Oh, you know what? There was one more thing. I'm going off my notes here, or going off my notes. Not Nanoraptor. Just occurred to me that Dana had put together some great new concepts. Starting with this one. What does the caption says? It says the Power Macintosh 8180V, not AV, just 80V, was praised for its high quality 6-inch built-in widescreen Trinitron, but fell short of a 5-mouse score from Macworld magazine due to the quote apparent lack of any audio capabilities whatsoever. It was an 80V, right? I think there probably wasn't enough room, or there were interference issues putting any kind of speakers in it or any audio capability with that Trinitron in there. But isn't that great? If you listen to the audio, you got to go to Nanoraptor on Twitter and see what this looks like. Because essentially she photoshopped in a little TV set into the face of an 8100, and it just, I would have bought that, right?
Right. Sure. Yeah.
I mean, it may have caused complications, probably maybe melted your CDs to the spindle of that drive that sits above it and caused some serious electromagnetic issues with the floppy disk below it, but it would look way cool. And then the other one, she says it's a little-known fact that Apple Vision displays could be ordered with a trackball option, allowing for a more compact desktop with fewer cables. Look
Oh,
at that.
that's
And she even
funny.
thanks somebody for loaning her the machine. And there it is. So an Apple Vision, what's this, like the 1710, something like that monitor, and she's taken the chin and had a nice trackball in there, which is very
Good
clever.
stuff.
It would have been great for
Very
like a
good
point
stuff.
of sale machine or something like a
Right?
kiosk,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right? Little kiosk, you can navigate there. I think that's brilliant. So lots of great design there. Anyway, that's Twitter Nanoraptor. All right. We could just do shows just on her designs, just
Oh, right.
making
Yeah.
up fake stuff and reviewing them and
Oh,
talking
I
about
would
how
love to
cool
see
they were.
somebody do like a fake Johnny Ive product video for one of those.
I think the ergonomics would be terrible though on that. If you had to use that trackball. I suggested that if that little bezel there were removable, it looks like there's a pretty good gap there in the plastic. I think that thing just slides off, and then you could attach it to the bottom of your keyboard, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Then the trackball would be, you could use as a giant thumb ball, and yeah, and then you have the speakers would be closer to you, I guess. All right, yeah. Where is the clicking? Where do you click? I think you just click the ball. Yeah, maybe it was an integrated trackball click mouse thing. All right, have we done everything? Seems like we have.
We have, except for figuring out what we're doing next week.
Um, we talked about applied engineering. We got to look into
Oh
applied
yeah,
engineering.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
See what we can dig up on the history of that. They're cool products. All right, let's close it out. In 3, 2, 1. All right. Well, that wraps up another episode of the RetroMacCast. Next week, we thought we would look into the history and the products that made applied engineering. Going back, well, I mean, we became familiar with them in the Apple II days. Maybe they existed even before that. Who knows? I'm sure there's lots of good information out there on the interwebs. We can share that. Did you ever own any applied engine? Did you ever buy any of those things?
Yes, yes, yes,
Yes,
yes.
you do
I
have
had
some
I
things.
had an audio card for the Apple II GS by them.
Oh,
Yep.
an audio card. Well, we'll talk more about
Yes.
that.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Yeah. I
Yeah,
still
I'm
have
kind
it.
of
So
curious
yeah.
because unlike the 8100 V, the 2GS did have an S. So I'm curious what an audio card would bring to the 2GS. All right, and let's see. Anything else we need to do? Talk about? Nothing? Oh, we were going to check on that auction, right? Let's see. I was going to see if anybody bought that in our chat. It's still sitting out there. I'm going to I'm talking about
got
the
it.
Apple III.
Sure.
I will go ahead and I will bid on that thing and see if I can just get it for that. And if I do, it was meant to be. All right. Unless somebody wants to outbid me and scan it for us, because you've got to have it. But I tell you what, the more I think about how awesome this thing is, the more I should just buy it now, because eventually I'm going to get my Apple II and Apple III
Yeah.
area set up. It's kind of a mess right now. That's why it's not even on camera. But there's space. What little wall space I have left, there is space that I could frame that Apple III thing and put it next to the Apple III. Should be awesome. All right. Oh, Michael, you want the? Well, I'm not going to give you the link because now I think I've convinced myself that I want this thing, like the actual physical one. Although I guess I could settle for a high res scan and then I could reprint it at my own
At some
sizing of
place
my
where
like.
somebody who might have access to a large format
Oh
printer,
yes, who might that be? You
someone
you do have to print it at a
maybe.
large size because there's so much packed on it, right? You couldn't really
Hmm.
shrink it down and print it any smaller.
Yeah,
So in the interest of the idea that I don't need anything more, I will post the link right there in the chat. So, Michael, if you want to pay the $252 to have a piece of paper shipped to Australia, because it has to go in a container ship. Yeah, you do want to show both sides. That's right. So you got to.
absolutely.
That's why if you have a
You
scan,
do
you
need to
can
scan
do
it. Hmm.
right. Very
Turn it
good
into a
point.
kind of a poster.
All
Yep.
right. Well, I guess that's it. Until next week. Remember, it's not old.
It's retro.
Yes. 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 Yeah, I love the old computer ads
Yeah.
because
Well,
they,
I would love that over
because
my Apple III.
right
A copy of that.
when we were growing up
Hmm.
and we were dreaming about having computers or whatever, the only and nobody had them or you seldom saw it. Where you saw them was in magazines, and so you fixated on these ads and
Right.
everything about
Yeah.
the ad. And
Hmm.
um, there was that great period of time, especially for Apple II, right? Those colorful ads with the Apple II sitting on the kitchen counter and the family
Hmm.
gathered around. And there was a consistent sort of style to them. And what would be awesome is to collect a lot of those and put them in a in a grid pattern or
Oh,
whatever. You can
yeah.
shrink them
So you
down so
can
you could display maybe
kind
not
of
quite
kind of
actual
see
size. Yeah,
the
yeah,
evolution
right. Like
of the
half
styles.
size or something, and
Yeah.
just
Hmm.
would be great. A lot of history there in those pictures. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us in the chat. Derek reminds us in episode 161 of what of his show, of our show. We never talked to Applied Engineering Bill and Brian. Transwarp Factor must be his podcast. um, yeah, we'll have to hunt
Michael
down
Mike says
some
back up in the
info.
comments for Fujifilm DS7 scans. I am not sure.
Hmm. Are you finding that? What he's talking about? RetroMacCast 161. What? We interviewed people from. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, Derek! What would we do without you, man? Holy cow! That's
161.
oh, Michael.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think
Transwarp Factor 9. Oh.
it
Oh,
skipped
yes.
your link for the
What?
Fujifilm. Michael had for some reason YouTube does not like URLs
Oh.
and it redacts them. So I'm
Oh.
pretty sure that's what he's talking about.
So the eBay link I posted didn't go through? Is that what you're
No, all
saying?
right. So I ran into this last week where I was trying to post it in YouTube
Uh-huh.
and it would not. But if I posted it through StreamYard as
Oh,
the
I see.
RetroMacCast, it did make it through. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I
link
guess
got eaten by
that's
the spam filter.
probably it allows us to post links.
Right.
Yeah,
Yep.
Derek's right. The spam filter in YouTube. So that we just don't get inundated by people in chats posting links to whatever their scheme of the day is. But yes,
Right.
Derek
Right.
is right. Episode 161 called Transwarp Factor 9. We talked to Bill Martins and Brian Weiser about their
Oh,
applied
okay.
engineering
Okay.
repository.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. They're from Call Apple. We've had Brian on the show several times.
Yeah, and Derek was on that episode too. I think he was just angling to mention an old episode with him in it. Um, Actually, I don't think you were in that episode. It was just me and Derek.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is interesting. I have to listen to that one. That was 2010, May 30th, 2010. Huh. I should post the video from that one. Oh, we didn't do video back then. Okay, never mind.
Ah,
All right. Oh, and Derek reminds us that the episode guide was updated yesterday.
aha. All
Wow.
right.
I'm sure there was a lot of work to get that up to date because I think it had been languishing. Well, thank you, Derek. Derek is our archivist
Well,
and
speaking of,
podcast historian.
Labor Day weekend, I will
Mhm.
be in Atlanta. So if you're planning on doing a show,
Yeah, we'll be reaching out maybe for a possible guest star. We'll see. Might just take the week off. I don't know. We've been running ragged here week after week. All right. Well, thanks again, everybody. Hopefully, we'll see you next week.
boy.
Bye.